Hi, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of the SoCal Prep Report. I'm just straight along with Bob Gibson. Happy you joined us tonight. And we are now getting deep into basketball season here in the southern section and the LA City section. And Bob, this is the time of year where everybody's playing with their league rivals. Everybody's playing in league. So the top upper echelon teams don't normally lose unless it's that heated crosstown
No, you're so right. Unless you have a league where you have a couple of top two. Trinity League's one of them with St. John Bosco and Mater Dei, of course. And Bosco's already gotten Mater Dei once this season. But you're right. A lot of these schools, Etiwanda, Bishop Montgomery, they're going to cruise to league championships here. No problem for any of these top schools.
Now, this is the first year in a long time that I can remember the Trinity League being wide open in basketball. It's normally Mater Dei's league, but this year, with all the transfers transferring out, it hasn't been that way for them, Bob.
Well, it's true. Losing Bowl and a couple other kids that did transferred out, it's been. But there's still a good Mater Dei team. This is still a team that's going to have to be reckoned with in the open division. But this is really Bishop Montgomery's year again. I mean, who's going to stop Bishop Montgomery unless it's Etiwanda? And I think that's the matchup everybody can't wait to see. Although, so I think Sierra Canyon. Believe me, Sierra Canyon is a team just kind of laying out there, and if nobody's paying attention to Sierra Canyon, that's fine with them over there because their head coach, Andre Chevalier, I think the less attention, the better. They're looking to sneak up on some people because they're one of the top teams as well.
Let's look at the Southern California top 10. That's put together by our staff, headed by Allison. Right, Allison? She always gets it right. Okay, Bishop Montgomery on top. Actually, they're the top team in the country. They won the national championship last year.
Yes, they did.
They have yet to lose a game this year. They have to start out on top, followed by Sierra Canyon, Etiwanda. Westchester from the LA City section has made some noise this year, had some close games, some close losses to some national teams, but they've also beat some big teams this year. Harvard Westlake, another team in there that's right there with Sierra Canyon in that same area out in the valley of Southern California and Los Angeles. Of course, St. John Bosco, Mater Dei. How often do you see that, man? The Monarchs number 7, Bosco on top of them. But they're going to play. I think they're playing Friday, no?
Yeah, they play one more time, these two. And Mater Dei's playing much better basketball than the last time these two teams met. I think it woke up Mater Dei just a little bit to lose that game. It broke their league winning streak. They hadn't lost a league game since 2011 when Olu got them.
So they're going to get with somebody transferring lately? Like, didn't Bowl come in about this time last year?
Yeah, you're right. This is about the time.
Like 6 games.
This is about the time.
Played like 4 games,
made his appearance at Mater Dei a year ago.
No free agents, man. There's no free agents available right now for him.
I don't think this year, but I think that was a way. This isn't a classically great Mater Dei team, but still a sneaky good Mater Dei team. Good enough, absolutely.
All right, Santa Margarita also holding pat at number 8. Roosevelt Corona, man. Those guys ball down there in Corona. We're going to see what happens this year, Crespi, of course, bringing it up number 10. A lot of people have Crespi in their top 10 in the country. I just don't see it yet. We'll see what happens. Very good.
Corona Centennial could be on this list very easily. A lot of good basketball being played out in the Corona area.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Inland Empire's fun this year for basketball.
It is.
God, a lot of good stuff going on there.
It is. All right, now we take a quick look at the basketball. Let's talk a little bit about wrestling. This is a story that has been floating around, Bob. It's about a wrestler, a kid named Ortiz, who he had 99 wins, and then he blew out his knee or something, and due to injury, he's stuck at 99. And then a tournament ensued, and some of the wrestlers on one of the teams that was there recognized the name, knew who he was, coach knew him. So what they did was one of the teams, I can't remember the name of the high school, escapes me right now, but one of their kids took a forfeit so he could win his 100th match. And for all you out there in wrestling, you got to understand, 100's a lot of wins. That's a lot of victories.
We were talking before we went on. You said that. You said 100 is a big.
It's a big number.
It's not everybody that reaches 100 wins in a wrestling career.
First of all, I don't care how good you are in wrestling at the high school or any level. To win 100 matches, you're limited to like 30 matches a year to begin with. So from a freshman, you got 120 potential matches. That's all you have. And to win 100?
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't even get to wrestle varsity their freshman or sophomore years because their teams are loaded, So it was a class thing for these guys to do, and it's just amazing, Bob, how, you get these stories where, people come out, and it's not important who did it. It's just the fact that the brotherhood in that sport is deep. And when you have a rival school saying, you know what, one of the guys stepped up and said, I'll step aside, I'll wrestle this guy, and you go out there and put your shoes on the mat and say, I'm not coming out. it's a forfeit win.
The loss didn't mean much to the kid who took the loss.
No.
The win meant more to the kid who got his 100th win. And everybody looks good doing it.
Absolutely.
And I know they're not doing it to look good. They're doing it because it's good sportsmanship and because
it goes beyond that.
And because it's a brotherhood in wrestling, right? It's a big time. And they know what it means to get that 100th win. Everybody knows the work that went in to get that 100 wins.
Unless you've been a wrestler, you don't know what it's like. The brotherhood, the camaraderie that goes along with it. Even with a rival school, it's not like football or any other sport or basketball where you have hated rivals. And wrestling, these kids all understand, and it's pretty much individual sport, but it's a team sport, Bob.
And they all respect each other.
You know, it is.
And you see it right there. That
paradox.
shows you ultimate respect right there.
It really is.
They knew that it was big for this kid to get his 100th win, so that's cool.
It's just like a fable. It's just a good story for people to know what's going on, Bob, and it's positive.
No, it's good stuff.
Right now, let's wrap up. Let's go to the city section now. Randy Rosenbloom has this report on the city section basketball.
I have my teams right here as I give you an overview in City Boys basketball. The teams I believe that'll make it to the open division this year in boys basketball. We'll start with Westchester. The Comets undefeated in the Western League, already with a win over Fairfax. This is a basketball team that is sensational, led by a young man by the name of Jalen Moore. He can really shoot the basketball along with Jordan Brinson, but they have size as well. Brinson and Moore score, but there's big physical guys inside. It's an outstanding team. The number 2 slot for me is Fairfax. I know the Lions dropped a game already to a very solid Westchester team, but Fairfax is great. They have the guard Ethan Anderson who can really score the basketball. Kirk Smith inside is outstanding as well. He can block shots, and Jamal Hartwell is a scorer. My number 3 team right now is Taft. The Toreadors have a young guard by the name of Kihai Clark. Kihai is another one of the guys who can control the tempo. He's a D1 player, and he can knock down perimeter jump shots. The defending champions, Birmingham, I think they're going to get to the open division as well. The Patriots, led by Devonair Dutrieve. He was on that championship squad last year. The Patriots have picked up some transfers recently. They're an improved basketball team. Right now I have them right at the number 4 spot. Number 5, Narbonne, the Gauchos, always dominant in the Marine League, led by guard Kendall Fry. He can score the basketball, a physical guard who can really get to the rim. By the way, it is the year of the guard in the city section, and Fry is one of those. I have Crenshaw at number 6. I'm going to talk about them in a moment because they had a big game this week. Granada Hills, a very disciplined, very solid team in the West Valley League at number 7. And number 8, I have University. Steve Ackerman's fine basketball team led by Dason Hughes, who had a 40-point game earlier this year against Venice and is averaging 21 points per outing. Those are the 8 teams I have right now. I think that'll get to the open division. Big games this week. Bishop Montgomery over Fairfax, 60-43. Bishop Montgomery is the best team in Southern California. Ethan Anderson did pour in 22 in that game. Crenshaw, I told you I'd talk about them. They got a great performance from Isaiah Johnson, their football quarterback. He scored 22 points in a 92-50 clubbing of arch rival Dorsey. That's a rivalry game, and it was a blowout. In fact, Crenshaw scored 31 points in the first quarter. And Van Nuys swept Sylmar for the first time ever in Eagle play. They won the game behind Tyree Winborn's 40 points. They came back. They were down 20 in this game, and they won at 84-68, outscoring the Spartans in that final quarter, 30-9 in that fourth quarter. In girls basketball, I think Narbonne is a dominant team. Their boys' team is good. Their girls' team is really good as well. Kia Smith's averaging 15 a game. They are undefeated in the Marine League. Fairfax, like the boys, the girls of Fairfax have a real shot. I think they'll go deep into the tournament. El Camino Real has a terrific player in Kiana Hamilton Fisher. They also have a big win over Harvard Westlake. And Granada Hills, like their boys, those girls at Granada Hills are getting a job done this year. Those are some of the teams I think that will get it done this year. In football, some coaching changes. Charles Mincy out at Dorsey after 2 years. Both years he got his team into the city finals. Also, Jose Campos is out at Poly despite a nice win over Monroe at the end of the year. And let's congratulate Robert Garrett of Crenshaw. He wins the Don Shula Award as the high school state coach of the year. He led the Cougars to a state title. Crenshaw wins the state title. Robert Garrett, the national coach of the year, got to go to the Pro Bowl in Orlando, Florida, had a nice sideline interview on national TV, and picks up $15,000 for the school for winning the National Coach of the Year. That's it from the city section this week. Now back to Rich and Bob.
All right, welcome. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate that. And, of course, the open division is always interesting. Bob, it's always Westchester, Fairfax, but every now and then somebody jumps up there and punches somebody in the nose.
It's true. Every once in a while somebody gets there, but you're right. It's the usual team. Westchester always seems to have. Atazam just always has loaded teams over there.
Speaking of Fairfax, your boy Catani over at Rolling Hills Prep, man. I remember talking to him last year after they won the state title, and he's rolling even crazier this year. I mean, unbelievable what he does. He has nobody over 5'6", but they're whipping people, man. I don't understand how he does it, but they play good team ball.
I'll tell you, this is crazy. He's got some young kids there, a lot of young kids that are coming in, and I think there's going to be some other kids who are going to start looking at Rolling Hills Prep as a destination to go play some really good basketball. They're going to be moving up some divisions here pretty quick, I think.
All righty. Now let's move on. We're going to go to the national scene right now. Don't do this a lot, but when there's an interesting story, we're going to bring it to you. On the phone with me now is the John Wooden of Missouri, Justin Ellison, head coach for County. And, Coach, congratulations, first off, on a big win.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
That's Marion County High School, by the way. And Coach Ellison, by the way, you know, interesting story. He had a game last week, finished it with two players on the court. Bob,
two players?
And they won the game. No. They won the game.
How do you win the game with two players? Coach, how do you win the game with two players?
Oh, I just got to give all the credit to the two kids we had on there. But I said I was lucky that I still had two of my better kids, or two of my leaders from the previous years on the floor, and they kind of just got us over the hump when it got down to pressure time.
Now let's give the backstory on it and be honest about it. They found that you had two players at the end of the game. What did you have? How many seconds was there left when you played with two, or how much time was about a minute?
No, there was less than that. There was about 15, 20 seconds left when we actually got down to two.
Yeah, but you played with three for a while, four for a while.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Well, here's how it kind of went. Like, we were in foul trouble most of the entire game, really. But I know at the end of the third quarter, like, every single starter had almost 4 fouls. And we were still somehow managed. We were still playing 5-on-5 until there was about 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. And then we had a kind of a post player foul out. And so we played 5-on-4 till about a minute and a half left. And then we had a loose ball foul, like 90 feet from the basket, which put us down to 5-on-3. Then we had 2 kids with still 4 fouls at that point. And then, so, yeah, there's about 15 seconds left when they kind of missed a free throw and they got it back, and then we fouled on the floor. And then that put us down to 5-on-2. Then they got it back out of bounds, and then we fouled, they missed a couple free throws. And then we ended up getting the ball back, had to take it out underneath the basket because they had a foot violation on their second free throw.
Isn't that great?
So, well, at the time, though, we didn't like it because my point guard got the rebound and we were already starting to dribble the other way. And so then when they called the foot violation and we had to take the ball back out of bounds, we had to try to get it back inbounds, which was difficult at the time. And so they were putting like one kid on the inbounder. They had like 3 or 4 guarding our point guard who had 28 points in the game, and he tried to cut down the side and they knocked it out of bounds. So we got it back in on the sideline with about 6 or 7 seconds left. And we got it, kind of threw it into the backcourt, and he kind of chased it down and was taken off down the sideline. And they fouled us down by the 3-point line with about 1.4 seconds left.
Here's
and
the play.
we were in the bonus as well, so we were in the double bonus at that point. So he got 2 free throws in a tie game at 50-50. We missed the first one and then made the second one. They got it back underneath, and they still had a second and a half to get a shot off, but luckily we did a good job defending the first pass, and so they didn't really get a good look at it.
Who took the free throws? Was that Tyler or Alex that took the 2 shots at the end?
The 2 free throws at the very end were Ty Bowdish.
Yeah.
He actually had all but 2 points in the fourth quarter. I believe he had 15 in the fourth, I believe.
You talk about pressure. Those free throws are pressure, man.
Yeah, throughout the fourth quarter, he made 2 free throws when it was 5-on-4. He made 2 free throws when it was 5-on-3. Then he missed the front end of a 1-on-1 at 5-on-3, and then he made one of the 2 free throws at the end, 5-on-2.
Jeez
So,
Louise.
I mean, we still scored 5 points down a man or two. We didn't actually have any field goals from the run of play, but we did have some dead ball free throws.
Now, Coach, now tell me about what was going on. What was going on in your mind when you're down to 2 now? I mean, you're losing your guys left and right. First of all, let me preface all this. Let me give you the backstory, okay? He's down about 4 players, Bob.
Right,
you know, whether disciplinary stuff, whatever, it doesn't matter. 4 guys are gone. He's down to 6 players on his team, and is still balling. But Coach, I mean, where's that playbook out with 2 players on 5? Where's that? What were you? You didn't even call a timeout, which is smart. Now looking at it, I would have called timeout, but you were smarter than me.
Well, see, luckily, like my assistant, we were just going back and forth on whether if I should use the timeout or not. But at that point, he told me, he's like, what are you going to draw up on the board with 2 people that's possibly going to make a difference? He goes, you might as well just play it out. So we just, like I've always believed, if it's seniors on the floor, you can trust them to just let them go with it. We were actually, it's kind of interesting, we were in a game against early in the season when the other team scored a basket with about 7 seconds left, and I still had 1 timeout left. But we dribbled it up the floor and made a 3 with 1 second left. And again, I didn't use the timeout when we crossed half court. I thought about it to draw up a shot to tie or win, but I just let them go with it. And so both times I've just chose to just let them keep going and play it on their own. We came out on the right side.
Yeah, bunch of street ball there. Can we talk to Tyler or Alex right now? Or Ty or Alex?
Yeah, I have them both right here.
All right, let's do it.
When I talked to you yesterday, I went back and watched the 4th quarter today, and when we were talking about Alex Huffman, we did turn it over when we were 5-on-3 late in the game, and they got the rebound, and they got it out to their best player, and they got down the floor quick, and Alex was the only one back, and he was under the basket, and it was like a 3-on-1, but he stayed home and kind of put them all in a little spot of confusion or whatever, and they threw it out of bounds, and I guess I just kind of forgot how big that play was at that time until I went back and rewatched it again today.
That's just insane, man.
It's
Well, it's like you said, Coach. You had to move on to the next game, which was last night, I believe. So
Yeah.
This is a short-lived thing here. Let's talk to let's talk to 1 or 2 of the star players you had there that finished out this game.
There was only 2.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got the 2 that finished here. So I'll go ahead and I'll give it to Alex Huffman real quick.
Okay.
All right, here he is. Hello?
Hey, Alex. Welcome to Southern California, my friend.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a big win. My question to you is, what was going through your mind when your guys are dropping like flies? And did you have 4 fouls too?
At the time, I actually was the only one that only had 1 foul.
Oh.
All right. All right. Wow,
Everyone
amazing.
else had 4 fouls.
So what's going through your head? You had a chance to win the game. You have a chance to win the game. There's just you and Ty. What's going on?
What really was going on through my mind is it was a very close game, so it was a very high percentage chance of going into overtime. So that was the one thing I did not want to happen because 2 on 5.
Can you imagine?
Time was on our side at the moment with only 30 seconds left on the clock. So going into overtime, that would not have been our best friend right then. So.
No, man. How about Ty? Did Ty have 4 fouls at this point when there was 2 of you left?
Yes, Ty had 4 fouls, yes.
So it could have been 5-on-1.
No, he couldn't inbound the ball.
It could have
They
been.
can't inbound the ball to him. It's over. You cannot play with 1 player.
Good point.
He can't inbound to himself. There's
That's
no
a good
way.
point. There's
I
no
would have
way.
threw it at their feet, so.
So, I mean, was the biggest thing winning the game? I mean, could you believe you won the game? You could kill that.
Yeah,
now, Bob.
it was
Thank you
definitely
so
a
much.
high school memory that I'll always keep.
You know, I'll tell you what, I don't care what happens from this day forward. You go down in lore. This has never happened before as far as I know. Never saw 31 years of covering
It's
sports,
definitely
never
special
seen this.
for me to hold on to.
Yeah, just amazing, man. Hey, can we talk to Tyler real quick?
Yes,
Ty-
sir. Here he is.
Thanks, Alex. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hey, Ty, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good.
You a little tired?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Ty, real quick, what was going through your head in this ball game? You're losing your players. Your bench is empty. What's going on with you?
Well, after we got when we were down to 4 players, I was just thinking I cannot foul or else it's going to be a bad deal.
Yeah.
And then when we had 2 in, I don't know what they were thinking. They all started, pretty much all 5 guys started running at me, so I just ran to the backcourt, and Alex threw it over their head, and I got to the basket and drew a foul.
Yeah, that was amazing. I saw that play, but you know what? That's what you got to do. You got to get to the end line where there's no defenders. You take away half the floor. Ball's just got to go over their heads. Beautiful play. You guys played that perfectly. And again, the finish was awesome. You know, getting the 2 free throws knocked down, or the free throw to put you guys in the lead, no overtime. It was just great. It's just something that we haven't seen. It's an anomaly. Congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. Well done.
Well done, Ty. I would milk this. I really would.
Yeah, why not?
I figure out a way to make some money on it. That's what I would be doing right now. All right? Get with the smartest guys with your school and start talking about how to market this, man. This was great.
You need a book deal and a movie deal, right? It's everything, you know?
Yeah, you need to get a book and a movie deal for sure. All right, let me talk to Coach real fast. Congratulations once again, Ty.
How's it going?
Hey, Coach. Appreciate the time, man. This was fantastic. Congratulations. I mean, this has got to be the biggest story of the year in basketball.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I just want people to understand, like, the 6 kids we have playing right now, how hard they work, and that's really just how I want it to be remembered for. Just how no matter the situation we're put in, they always just keep fighting to the end, and that's all we can ever ask of anybody.
Absolutely, Coach. Again, congratulations. We're going to follow you every week now until your season's over, another couple of weeks, and we'll be talking again. Coach, congratulations and thank you. Thank you for staying up late.
We'll keep playing for you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that. All right, that's head coach. That's Justin Ellison, man. And I'm telling you, man, Marion County High, baby, in Missouri.
They're ballers out there, aren't they?
You know, Bob, I can't imagine doing, even as a coach, I would have called timeout. He's smarter than me. We were talking about this. I said, Coach, why don't you call timeout, set something up? What am I going to set up?
Right. The assistant coach says, what are you going to draw on the board? It's the 2 guys.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. But,
he's absolutely
you know,
right.
Alex and Ty played it perfectly. Yeah. Cat and mouse game, played keep away, and did just enough to win that game. The game was tight, and I don't care. When there's 5-on-3, 5-on-4 even, you know, power play, baby. Somebody's open. Somebody's open.
How this other team and these other coach feel when this is over?
You know what? I think what happens in something like that, it's different. It throws you off a little bit. I think that coach should have called timeout. The other coach should have called timeout.
Maybe.
And said, look, 4 guys, 2 guys on the ball and 3 waiting to intercept it. You know, that's all you got.
Craziness.
But it didn't work out that way. But it was fantastic. I love stories like that. That's awesome. All right, I took my IFB out because it was getting loud. All right, I guess we go to Carlos Peña.
Let's go to Carlos.
Check out some soccer right now.
The high desert.
That's right, baby.
Hi, folks, and welcome to this week's SoCal Prep Report. I'm Carlos Peña, and I'm bringing you soccer. Tonight, we're going to take a look at Los Angeles City section. Starting off with the girls, Division I. Grant, Soto, Hamilton, Fremont, San Pedro. Hamilton has a great squad led by freshman Jacqueline Demers with 14 goals and 5 assists. Look for Grant to drop and El Camino Real to take the top spot in playoffs. Division II, Garfield, Valley, San Fernando, Hollywood, Tryon. Now Garfield has this division with a winning percentage of .929. They've only allowed 7 goals, great defense there. In Division III, USC May, Marquez, USC Hybrid, New West, and Angelou. In Division IV, we have King, Burton, Anima de la Hoya, Los Angeles, and Jefferson bringing up the rear. Girls Division V, Sun Valley, Aspire, Dimely, North Valley, and Carson. No real change expected here in this division heading into playoffs. Look for Wilson to step in and take Dimely's spot. Heading into the boys division, Division I, Community Charter, Palisades, El Camino Real, Fremont, and Central City. Fremont is expected to take the number 2 spot in playoffs, but number 3, El Camino Real, will stand in their way. Looking into Division II, Fauché, Angelou, Grant, Huntington Park, and Cleveland. Now I like Huntington Park in this division. They're sitting in a good spot heading into playoffs. With 13 seniors in the roster and a full bench, you can expect the Spartans to match up against Fauché in playoffs. In Division III, Maywood, Narbonne, Hollywood, Ortho, and New Designs. In Division IV, Dimely, Hattie and Peter, University, Legacy, and Collins Family. Neuwirth, with a perfect winning percentage in league play, only trails the number 1 spot by 44 points. but with a recent loss to Animo Venice and a win by Dimily, they can expect that spot to go away. In Division 5, up top, Burton, followed by Los Angeles, Stern, King, and USC Hybrid bringing up the rear. This division is anyone's game. All schools with very similar winning percentages, making it a tight fit for the #1 spot. Rich, Bob, that concludes this week's soccer report, LA section. Back to you in the studio. Guys, you got a yellow card for bad jokes last week.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Really?
Hey, that's my first yellow card, Bob. I'm proud of that. Finally got a yellow card. Never played a lick of soccer.
I got to look up some of these schools. Collins Family. I don't know where that school
Yeah,
is.
you
Is
were
that a real
making
high
fun
school?
of that. You saw Howard Stern
No,
University
Howard
in there.
Stern
Yeah, I
University.
mean, you did say that, not me.
De La Hoya has a school named after
De La
him
Hoya
now?
has a school
All right,
named after
no,
him now.
I'm into that.
Absolutely,
I'm
man.
into that. Why
Don't ignore
not?
that bread, brother. You get a something named after
Good
you.
point. You write a big enough check.
That's right. Absolutely. All right. This week in football, Troy Thomas coming back to Servite. Bob, I guess you can come home.
Can you believe it?
No, I don't believe it.
Against all odds, right. You know, there were some rumors that when Thomas had left Servite to go back to Crespi, that he just wanted to go home.
Well, that's where he went to high school.
He's a Crespi High graduate, of course. But there might have been some hurt feelings maybe between him and Servite. Yeah, that's the rumor. Who knows if any of that is true? But I guess they buried the hatchet. If there were any issues, Troy Thomas is back as the head coach of the Servite Friars, and I think it's one of the biggest stories of the offseason. Now when you see these with the new transfer rules, you're going to see a lot of kids left Servite thinking, uh-oh, what's going on at Servite? These kids might do a U-turn, come right back, because we know the success Troy Thomas had with the Friars a couple years back.
I don't think there was any hurt feelings when Troy Thomas left Servite. I think it was time for him to go. In this league, there's only one Bruce Rollinson. Only one guy's going to stick around forever. Thomas, you know, he came in, he had some early success, and then took off to Crespi, and the success never transcended at Crespi the way it did at Servite. Can he come back and catch that mojo and catch that lightning in a bottle? I don't know, Bob. But like you said, with the open enrollment now, anybody could transfer any time. I mean, even Beast Mode's going to get some high school eligibility back and probably transfer in somewhere.
Look, we're seeing schools. Santa Margarita brought a college coach in to be their head coach. Other schools are bringing college coaches in to coach at the high school level now. So, you know, these jobs are not easy to come by, especially in the Trinity League. You got to have a heck of a resume. Another rumor was that Troy Thomas was the highest paid coach in the Trinity League at the time he left, and then took a bigger paycheck, rumor again, to go to Crespi, right? You would think you have to be pretty well paid to leave that job. And, you know, let's face it, these coaches now, they're getting paid pretty well, especially at the Trinity League level when you're talking about open division, national championship type implications here. So, you know, it was a pretty sweet deal. You know, when Troy Thomas became a free agent and then Servite moved on from their head coach, you know, just a week ago, you knew something had to be in the water, just a little bit.
Yeah, usually these deals are all done. Listen, I talked to some street agents about these coaching salaries in that Trinity League, and I think the starting salary is right around $200,000 or more. That might be a little lot. Might be $250 now.
Not a bad gig.
That's the starting salary in that league. Orange Lutheran, Servite, Modern Day.
Hey, it's got to be. If you're getting college coaches to leave
no,
college and come to the high school level,
they're fat
you got to make it. You got to make it worth
Some
their
of these
while.
guys are getting their wives teaching jobs at the school, getting cars. I mean, they got everything over there, John. I mean, Bob, I got to go back and I got to start coaching high school football again.
As good a coach as Scott Meyer is, and we know he's going to land on his feet somewhere. You know, when Scott Meyer and Servite kind of decided, hey, we're going to split here. This isn't working out here at Servite. You know, that first phone call right after that was, hey, Troy, you want to come back to Servite?
Yeah,
I have to believe that was the only guy on their radar, and they got him.
All right. I keep calling you Bob Conti for some reason.
Okay,
I was talking to John earlier. I got him in my head.
I've been called worse.
Real quick, let's look at the national top 10, give you a quick look at it. Didn't change at all. Everybody won. Montgomery, Montverde Academy, by the way, played Findlay Prep, and Findlay Prep lost on a buzzer beater. A buzzer beater, Bob. Got to keep everybody where they're at. Everybody won. This is going to be a fight to the death, fight to the finisher. Not as bad as last year. We had 5 Southern California schools in the top 10, but still going to be a fight just the same.
Look at that, anchoring both sides, number 1 and number 10.
Yeah.
We got our
and Gonzaga's in the middle, D.C. and Washington. Imagine
Don't
that,
forget,
huh?
in our top 10, we've got Sierra Canyon over Etowanda. Now, a lot of people could take issue with that, but nationally,
not me.
Etowanda in that top 10. Sierra Canyon got to be right at what, 11 or 12? They got to be right there as well.
Talk to Allison about all that mess, all right? She handles that top 10 in the CIF Southern section.
Put it together.
All right, that's it for this edition. Another exciting edition, of course, of the SoCal Prep Report. On behalf of Bob Gibson, Albert Display, I'd like to thank our friend Justin Ellison, Coach Ellison, and Ty Bowdish and Alex Huffman.
Big win.
Yeah, big victory for those guys. Did something that you'll probably never see again. 2 guys beating 5 at the end.
Uh-oh, that means we got to go.
That's it, Bob. We're done. All right, see everybody next week. Thank you for joining us.